Welcome to the Big Smoke, where reminders of the city's long history can be found around every corner. This is MojoTravels, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 must-see attractions in London. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to MojoTravels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking at some of the most iconic, popular, and historically relevant attractions that everyone should visit when passing through London. Number 10. National Gallery. Museums are always fantastic tourist destinations, and London is home to some absolutely phenomenal ones that even the most laissez-faire traveller won't be able to help but appreciate. The National Gallery is one such institution. This iconic art museum is located in the famous Trafalgar Square, and just the building alone is worth the trip. A formidable and masterfully designed structure, it's home to over 2,000 works of art, including pieces by household names like Leonardo da Vinci, Vincent van Gogh, Rembrandt, and Renoir. Given that it's a true repository of European art from throughout history, it's little wonder that the National Gallery welcomes over 5.5 million visitors every year, making it one of the most popular attractions in the entire country. Number 9. Hyde Park. Located in central London, Hyde Park covers 350 acres of land. Given its impressive size, beautiful design, and location within a major metropolis, it tends to earn a lot of comparisons to New York City's Central Park. But really, that feels like a disservice to Hyde Park's long and storied history. In its earliest form, it served as the private hunting ground of Henry VIII. Much later, in 1851, it was home to the Great Exhibition in the Crystal Palace. So yeah, it's got history. And nowadays, everywhere you look, there are testaments to that storied past. Stroll amongst its towering trees, appreciate the various monuments, or check out the Speaker's Corner, a historic spot included for public oration, dating back to the Victorian era. Number 8. British Museum. Another museum already? Call us stuffy if you want, but London seriously delivers when it comes to educational institutions dedicated to arts, culture, and history. The single most popular tourist attraction in the entire country, with over close to 6 million visitors annually, it has more than earned its attention of the masses. Millions of fascinating art objects are spread across dozens of galleries, ranging far and wide in subject and era, from antiquity to modernity. Some of the most popular must-see attractions include the Rosetta Stone, which was crucial to understanding the written language of ancient Egypt, and the Sutton Hoo ship burial relics. Number 7. London Eye. As much as we love the rich history on display in London, it's also very much a modern city, with attractions to match. The London Eye is a massive observational Ferris wheel that reaches a staggering 443 feet into the air, offering breathtaking views of the city and many of its most recognizable attractions. At £37 per adult when you book ahead and £40 day of, it's by no means a cheap experience. But considering the entire ride lasts about 30 minutes, a lifetime compared to the conventional Ferris wheels, and the technology that went into its design, you're actually getting a pretty good deal. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience in the truest sense, and well worth your visit. Number 6. Trafalgar Square. We noted Trafalgar Square when talking about the National Gallery, but this iconic space in Westminster is far more than just a means to an end. It's an important piece of London's history. The square itself, in its current form, only dates back to 1840, but the location's historical importance goes way back to the 13th century, when it was home to the King's Mews. Over the years, since its inauguration as a public space, Trafalgar Square has been seen by many as the beating heart of London, a place of public gatherings both celebratory and otherwise. Named to commemorate the Battle of Trafalgar, it's the site of important statues and monuments, and is ringed by numerous buildings or architectural significance, including St. Martin in the Fields. Number 5. The Victoria and Albert Museum. Last but most certainly not least of the museums that we're highly recommending today is the V&A, which is dedicated to the decorative arts and sculpture, as well as design in general. The largest museum of its kind in the city, it covers a wide range of materials, from ancient furniture and rugs to the distinctive fashions of bygone cultures. For anyone who finds traditional art or historical artifacts a little dull, the modern importance of this museum is sure to appeal. Contemporary fashion and design are always looking backwards for inspiration after all. Of course, this museum's temporary exhibits also tend to be more modern in their concerns, with retrospectives on contemporary fashion icons and designers, as well as investigations into the trends of the current design world. Number 4. St. Paul's Cathedral. Built in the late 17th century on the site of another St. Paul's, which dated all the way back to 604 AD, Christopher Wren's iconic landmark of the London skyline is among the city's most symbolic. If the dome reminds you of St. Peter's Cathedral in the Vatican City, you're not wrong. It was heavily influenced by that latter structure in terms of design and grandeur. By all means, considering the terrifying bombardment that London was subjected to during the Second World War, it's a miracle that St. Paul's Cathedral survived. But survive the Blitz it did, and with minimal structural damage to boot. From that day forward, it stood as a symbol of the city's strength and ability to weather tragedy of all sorts. So walk through its hallowed doors, marvel at the architecture, take in the breathtaking view from the Golden Gallery, and try out the Whispering Gallery with its sound bouncing effects. Number 3. Tower of London. At only 89 feet in height, this castle is admittedly not very tall by modern tower standards. But what this structure lacks in stature, it more than makes up for in terms of historical significance. The tower from which it derives its name was completed all the way back in 1078, under the orders of William the Conqueror. Since then, it's been progressively expanded and used for a multitude of purposes. How many buildings can you name that served as both a royal residence and a prison over the years? Okay, now how about a zoo? This castle has really been through it all, and somehow is still standing. Take a free guided for a closer look at this relic of a building and its many little details, and to learn some of the most interesting chapters from its colourful history. Number 2. Big Ben, Palace of Westminster, and Westminster Abbey. Don't you love it when a bunch of must-see attractions all happen to be within a stone's throw of each other? It makes seeing the sights all that much easier and efficient, allowing you to really maximise your time in a city. In London, 3 of the most essential attractions stand so very near to each other. Big Ben requires little introduction, but does warrant clarification. The clock tower itself, the Elizabeth Tower, is technically part of the Palace of Westminster, which is also known as the Houses of Parliament. As for the name Big Ben, that technically refers to the bell in the tower. Sadly, tours inside the tower are not offered. You can tour the Houses of Parliament, however, as well as neighbouring World Heritage Site Westminster Abbey, and both make for a memorable London experience. Number 1. Buckingham Palace. Arguably the single most famous residence and palace of any royal family in the world, past or present, Buckingham Palace is an absolute must-visit for anyone travelling to London. The original modest structure was completed in 1703, but the impressive building is much the result of multiple subsequent expansions. Here's a tip. If the Queen is home during your visit, you'll be able to tell from the flag that's being flown. The Royal Standard means she's in. The Union flag means she's away. If she is away, before you get too disappointed, this is actually an opportunity for you to see the magnificent state rooms. Also, be sure to time your visit with the world-renowned changing of the guard. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MojoTravels and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.